for the Wynn Macau Guia race. The TCR Asia Challenge Race 1 is set to get underway. Welcome to the Guia circuit. David Addison, Alan Hyde with you for what promises to be a very lively 9-lap race. Andy Yan in the Honda Civic is on pole position, the 2017 TCR China champion, and alongside not only Andy Yan, but a brace of pandas on the front row is Ho Si-ho in the very rapid Hyundai, the Cataclean supported car, which has been rapid all weekend, but not quite rapid enough in the qualifying session. It has left him with a little bit of work to do going into the first of the two equal distance 9-lap races, with the grid being based with the top 12. Should have been. They're qualifying 2 times, but we never actually got to Q2 because of so many dramas and red flags. It ended up only being a single qualifying session. You've just seen Felipe de Souza third on the grid. Juan Rohan will line up 4th with Honda, with Hyundai and Audi. Alan, all at the front of the grid.
I just want to take up the fact that I just saw a minion on the front of Felipe de Souza's car. He's got a sunscreen over the windscreen to keep him cool inside the car, with rising temperatures up to 26 degrees, and it is the eyes of a minion.
Well, there, the eyes you can see are those of Chen Shi-on, and he's going to line up 7th on the grid. There's a gap where Billy Lowe should have been. 95, who will start 6th, just ahead of him, is Hu Huang in another of the Audis, the RS3 LMS TCR, to give it its full title in that sort of pseudo-Gulf colour scheme. The powder
bit,
fluid
isn't it? Yeah, it's close. It's close enough. And a thumbs up is always a good sign. Can't miss this car, can we?
No, even if you wanted to. Eureka de Jesus, the Macau driver in the very, very distinctive pink Honda from the Mac Pro racing team, regular here in touring cars or GT events. And the next car that we come to on the grid there, number 93, which is Ryan Wong. He was up the escape road and in strife in free practice back on Thursday, but Ryan Wong should be a man to watch here.
Yep, and we'll make our way right the way down the field and get an indication from each of the drivers that they are very much looking forward to the start of our, well, essentially second touring car race of the day. We've just enjoyed one touring car race. This is the second. This is for the prestigious Guia race. That's the 42 car of Chan Weng Tong, Songfen Racing Team entered car.
And that's Jason Mock's Honda that was late getting to the grid, but he is there. And Jason Mock in the Shell Helix colours, another of the Honda Civics that we have on the grid. We've got 1 or 2 FK2s like his, but the bulk are FK7 shape Civics. 45 is the delectable Alfa Romeo Giulietta TCR from Team Endless of Yu Long, who's raced in TCR Asia as well as in the Macau Touring Car Cup here in the past. But the Alfa Romeo Giulietta is good to go. Jason Mock's car with happy birthday for Al on the top of it.
Wrong date.
Something you didn't tell us.
No, wrong date.
You did have 2 birthdays.
I wouldn't mind.
53, which is Mike Un. Now, that was a car that picked up some damage yesterday, wasn't it? And did a lot of barrier damage. It delayed things by going off at Fisherman's. The car looks okay, but that's, in a way, a bit of a surprise given the length of the delay we suffered.
And he looks okay as well.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the start of this. So the team have clearly worked hard. 72 is Leung Ken Hay in the Spark Racing Honda. Not in the car yet. Car story, it says at the front of the 88 Audi. And that's Hu Wai Hung in the Team Prospect Audi. Hello.
Thank you for calling. And 15 is Zhang Hang Biao. Another regular, not only in TCR Asia, of which this is a scoring round, but also TCR China. And he drives the Cupra TCR. The grid now being cleared, and they will, of course, have a formation lap. There is the next to the Civics, number 32 of Hu Jiaxin from the China touring car background. And a driver to keep an eye on, I suspect, over the course of these 9 laps, starting on the 11th row of the grid.
Lai Jing Weng in the 326 Racing Team Audi. Last few cars on the grid now. 77, that's the car of Yu Zhen Wei in the Star Cars Racing Honda. Double thumbs up
And the last car on the grid should be number 6, the Hyundai i30N of Tensar Tsun. So there the grid, you can see the gap where sadly missing is Billy Lowe, whose car picked up some damage yesterday. And is there another gap as well? 56 possibly, Jiang Wei. Looks like he might be missing there also. However, we are almost ready to go. Grid will be cleared. Temperature's getting hotter all the time here. It's a great shot, that, looking out over the water. That almost cools you down, but the temperatures are going up. 27 degrees now, partly cloudy, still fairly humid. And
that is, so the grandstand that you see on the back, that water is just out the other side of the, and it's quite a surreal feeling when you go out to the back of the grandstand where the commentary boxes are, and you look over the water. You could be in a different part of the world. It's quite incredible. It's completely away from racing and from the colour and the glamour of the Macau Grand Prix.
So a reminder of the grid with Andy Yan on pole position and Ho Si Ho alongside him. On the second row of the grid, Felipe de Souza lines up with Hang Guo Han for company. The third row, no Billy Lowe, but Hu Hang is there ahead of Chen Xiong and Ran Wang. On the fifth row, there is Eureka de Jesus and Jason Mock ahead of then Chang Wan Tang and Leung Ken Hei. Then you've got Yu Long from Zhanghao Biao. Deng Bo Wei is on the eighth row with Lai Jiangwen for company. The ninth row of the grid, Mike and alongside Wang Qinheng. Then there is Eason Wu and a gap where Jiang Wei should have been. Hu Jiaxin on the 11th row has Samuel Sher for company ahead of Ouyang Yanwei and Tensar Sun to round out the grid. The grid is now being cleared. Engines will fire at the 1 minute board. Engineers will leave the grid. And then our second touring car event will get underway. We've already had the Macau Touring Car Cup, won by Rob Huff, or part one at least, won by Rob Huff. And now the equivalent race for TCR Asia Challenge, the Wynn Macau Guia race, ready to get underway.
It's a great shot, isn't it? Looking down on the very colourful grid for the entry to the Wynn Macau Guia race, TCR Asia Challenge. It's a part of the world, we mention it often, where you see some very bright, very colourful liveries, this part of the world, and I think it's a great thing as well. You will always be left in no doubt where in the world you are racing when you come here to Macau. Always very bright, always very colourful, and always lots and lots of smiles for the Macau Grand Prix. Brings a lot of joy to a lot of people, this event.
And that is a man who stands on the brink, perhaps, of a victory in the Guia race. Andy Yan has got to start as the favourite here. He is a successful driver. He was away in Paul Ricard last month, representing Hong Kong, China, within the FIA Motorsport Games. Come on, baby, it says on the car. And he is about, I'm sure, to deliver in style here, because with his track record, he's going to be the man to beat. Not saying he's going to have it easy, but he will be the man to beat. The course cars there at the back, ready to chase on the opening lap. The last minute ticks down before the cars set off onto that formation lap. The one-by-one staggered grid, for which pole position, as you see, is on the outside on the run down towards Reservoir Bend. And then, of course, there's that fast section, speed building all the time through Mandarin down towards Lisboa.
Pick your winner, and we'll find out at the end of 9 laps, both of the touring car categories this weekend. Race on both days over the course of 9 laps. Tomorrow for the prestigious Guia race. Today, it's a 9-lap race for the Wynn Macau Guia race and TCR Asia Challenge. Engines you can hear already fired up, and the green flag is waved. They will go off on a formation lap around 6.2 kilometres around the streets of Macau. And important work to be done here to get tyres up to temperature. 27 degrees now here, 5 to 1 in the afternoon here at Macau. And this is where the hard work starts. Formation tyre warming there for a moment between the 2 cars at the front of the field. That's Lo Si Ho and Andy Yan on pole position.
Now, within TCR Asia this year, wins have been rather shared between Zhang Zhizhang, Sunny Wong, David Zhu, Rodolfo Avila, all of whom, for this weekend, have moved to the China Touring Car event and the Macau Touring Car Cup. So it certainly leaves the way clear for different winners from the TCR Asia ranks. But as
it's
the
quite
cars...
nice in a way that it spreads out the winning talent between the two races that we've got.
And it certainly gives Andy Yan an opportunity, although he has not really been featuring in the championship this year. But for the Guia race, you can treat it a bit more perhaps as a one-off, and it does run for this TCR Asia Challenge, which is, oh dear, drama already on the formation lap. Now, you were talking about formation weaving, and somebody's got it desperately wrong there, coming out of reservoir. I think that's 82 Lai Zheng Wen, isn't it? That's going to delay the start potentially, because that is a very broken car, and to do that, that takes quite some doing at the first corner of a formation lap. That has hit something very hard indeed. Marshals are on the scene, but that car's going to have to be put on the back of the flatbed, surely. It
needs to be lifted. It's right in the middle of the circuit. Not good news, broken suspension, and the marshals will come over. They'll be in contact with race control, of course, and this is pretty definitely going to be a start delayed, isn't it?
Yes, the only thing you could do is very, very quickly scramble a safety car to the grid and do a safety car start, so the race is on, albeit under controlled conditions, and drive past the wreck. But with it being on the racing line in the middle and debris, I don't think they'd even want to consider that.
No, they've got to deal with the debris, because that's clearly had a bit of a hit. Cold tyres, barriers, doesn't work well, does it? Not a good combination.
No, but that's what you have that formation lap for, to generate the warmth into the tyres. So to have that size of accident, whether another car was involved, we'll try and get to the bottom of, but it's certainly done a lot of damage, hasn't it, there to that car?
It really has. Yeah, disappointing to see, as the rest of the field presumably won't necessarily know about that.
No.
And they'll still be pressing on with their plan of getting heat into the tyres in a already warm Macau, 27 degrees. This time of year, 27 degrees, beautiful.
Absolutely. Now, all of the potential delay to the start does depend on where the nearest flatbed is and how quickly that car can be lifted. So, for the moment, green flags were being shown, but there, look, the yellow flags are out, and I think we are now about to get a delayed
safety
start.
Car board down there?
Yes, but
safety car board
not being
pending.
shown.
Yeah.
A bit of confusion from that marshal's post, but SC board and yellow flag at all marshals posts now is the instruction, which could therefore go to a safety car start. Let's wait and see. So safety car boards and yellow flags around the circuit, but we haven't yet got the race underway for them to actually have any meaning.
No, which may potentially cause a little bit of confusion as they now...
There you go, safety car start. What I was suggesting is going to happen. So the safety car is going to pick them up, and that means that we'll get the race underway and on the timetable, but with the ability to go through the incident zone, at least on that first lap, in safe order. So the cars now come behind the safety car, up towards the line, and may not need to stop. They might just be allowed to carry on and therefore trip the beam to get the race underway. There is a time for the Guia race, which is 35 minutes. And so the safety car leads them across the line. It awaits instruction. It's not been given the go yet. So they are going to try and move the car before they do a safety car start. And the reason for starting behind the safety car is because of the liquid on the road that is being treated. But I'm still intrigued to know what he's done to do that amount of damage on a formation lap.
At the end of the races, we get a highlights package, and we do see a couple of things in that highlights package that potentially we won't have seen live. So it might be at the end of the race that we get an answer to exactly what happened. But that's hit the barriers for sure, and quite a speed for a formation lap.
Yeah, now they're having to put those little dollies under the car so they can slide it off the circuit. And once that is done, Wynn's car, didn't we? Yes, that's going to be out of the way. And so then the safety car will be given the go-ahead, and as it moves, then that will start the clock from the 35 minutes.
And it does now. So the safety car on the move, so too Andy Yan on pole position. So too Lo Si Ho, qualified second. Philippe de Souza, car number 26. And they now? Yep, they've got the important business of getting heat back on the tyres. They've sat there for a little while, haven't they? So past the car which is being recovered, past the dressing of the fluid down on the circuit. What do you call the agent that they put down there?
Speedy Dry, I think it's called, isn't it?
Speedy Dry.
It's as good a name as any.
It's a great name.
So that very battered Audi off the road.
They used to use cement dust, and we still generically call it cement dust from time to time. But apparently cement dust wasn't good, because if it came into contact with moisture, it could set.
Yes.
And that wasn't so good, not in the pores of tarmac.
So the race is on. You might not think it, but this is lap 1 of the race. So under a safety car start, it's not the same as a rolling start, which is behind a course car. The safety car like this means that the race is on. So this is counting within our 35 minutes, and we've had 90 seconds or so as the cars come down towards Lisboa. Andy Jan at the front of the field from the Hyundai.
I worry about the cars. I worry about the cars, David, that aren't weaving. Is that because they're happy that their tyres are warm enough already? But
possibly.
Yeah. But they weren't sat for too long behind the safety car down on the grid, so not required.
Now, I think also it might depend on part of the circuit and what you see ahead of you. More and more drivers starting to think about a bit of a weave up the hill, more weaving at the front here. So that, I think, will trigger all the way back down the order. So Andy Jan versus Lo Si Ho. And, of course, if the Hyundai driver was hoping to be able to get the drop on Andy Jan off the grid, then he's going to be disappointed because they don't stop on the grid. The cars are released, and we are also losing a lap under safety car start procedure. Total laps reduced by 1 lap as well. So it was 35 minutes or 9 laps. Well, it's now going to be 8 laps. And we should go racing, hopefully, at the end of this lap. We'll wait and confirm.
Well, they were recovering the car and dressing the fluid pretty speedily down there, weren't they?
Yeah. So good work by the Macau marshals as the cars turn their way then through the Solitude S's down towards police.
The marshals are incredibly speedy here at Macau. They don't jog to an incident, they run to an incident. And they know the importance of getting everything clear and ready to race shortest time possible. They do an exceptional job.
And because it's a long lap as well, then quite often you have time on your side. Yes, you have to get there speedily, but you know the cars are away from you for quite a long time, so you can get the circuit clear. Number 10, Eureka de Jesus heads towards us in the bright pink Honda. Andy Jan there goes through. He will be the man that will lead them away. So 8 laps in total now. The road looks clear. So are they going to be given 1 lap to go through the Speedy Dry, or is the race director content? No, he's content to let them go. Safety car in at the end of this lap then. So we will go racing this time around. There is, of course, the requirement for safety. There is also to balance the timetable in all of this, because these are public roads that are opened at the end of the day. There's also a finite amount of light, and by about 5:45 here, it's pretty much dark, so everything needs to be in before visibility becomes an issue. So we are about to get the first of the 2 races for the Wynn Macau Guia race underway. This TCR Asia Challenge then brings the cars down towards Fisherman's Bend. Lots of weaving going on now from Andy Jan at the head of the queue, with tucked up behind him, ready for the start of the race, Ho Si Ho. So speed starts to build now as they accelerate down towards R Bend, the end of the lap, which puts them in front of the grandstands, parallel to the pits, and then blast down towards Reservoir to, if you like, formally get the race underway. They've had that extra lap, extra formation lap, but counting within the time, counting within the number of laps, as the safety car, the Lamborghini Urus now bails for the pit lane. Andy Jan floors the throttle then to try to get the drop on Ho Si Ho. And maybe a bit of a brush in the back of Felipe de Souza's car there, because Huang Ruohan was right behind him. Over the line, it is Andy Jan that leads them away. Lo Se Ho tucked up behind as they go through Reservoir, then down towards Mandarin. And a change for third place already, because up and past goes Huang Ruohan up into third place, with also getting in on the act Hu Huang in the powder blue Audi. So Felipe de Souza was third. He's already dropped back into fifth place.
Yeah, Juan Rohan really had a sense of urgency off the start, didn't he? Really good start, that. And so too for the top two, because look at the advantage they have already as they go down for the first time under racing conditions into Lisboa. It's gone wrong for the leaders. Both of them go round. The circuit is blocked. That's going to be a bit of a car park. And
more drama further back as well. There's a Honda in the wall big time. And that, by the look of it, is Wong Chin Hung's Honda that has made big contact with the barriers. So the two race leaders both got it wrong. The road is almost blocked. Some have got through. Another one that's been badly delayed is Huang Ruohan, number 7, with his back to us. He was third. There is Maitland's Volkswagen Golf 53 that can't get through. So those that have got through carry on racing. But the two race leaders absolutely threw it away going down towards Lisboa.
At least the rest of the field knows that there's an incident down at Lisboa, because everybody has tried to get through. And what we didn't mention was, thank you very much, says Felipe de Souza,
who was fifth coming into the corner.
Hadn't had a brilliant start, had he?
No, but he was in the right place as everybody else got it wrong and others couldn't find a way through, and it all played into his hands. So Andy Jan, and there's still mayhem, because now Lo Si Ho has stalled it and he can't get the car going, and there's a queue, and oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
It's all gone a bit wrong, hasn't it?
It has, and these aren't easy cars with limited lock and the sequential gearboxes to just quickly hook it into reverse and back out. It's not as straightforward as that. So de Souza leads the way then from in second place, number 95.
Here we go. Oh no, we're not going to see that bit.
Hu Wang. Those are the leaders. So Andy Jan just completely got it wrong. I think Lo Si Ho threw the car into a spin in avoidance. And this, all self-induced, is how the Honda got into the barrier on one side of the road and then across to the other.
Well avoided for the cars behind. That could have been very nasty indeed, because you don't know. Wow, the energy that seemed to re-emerge in that car after hitting the barrier. Looked as if it slowed down, and then all of a sudden got a second wind of propulsion. It was
it did rather
quite interesting.
Yeah, so Wong Chin Hung out of the race in the Honda. Others badly delayed then down at Lisboa, and the leaders aren't far away from it as Felipe de Souza leads then at the end of lap 2. So he leads, unaware to a degree of exactly what confronts him. In second place behind it is Hu Heng. So it is Audi 1-2, and then in third place, 55 of Chen Shi on another of the Audis. Ryan Wong is in fourth place. Fifth is a Honda, so you've got Jason Mock in fifth place as the cars head now down towards Mandarin. So it's a rather depleted field after all the dramas in the first few laps. Another one in strife there, look, is number 32, Hu Jiaxin's Honda. That's got it wrong heading through the S's. And down towards Lisboa they come. The road, hopefully, is clear this time around as they dive into the right-hander. So far, so good. And a big slide there from 93. That is Ryan Wong. So he's now going to try and sort himself out. What is it in this race that's catching them out at Lisboa? Because there was nothing obvious in the previous race that was dropped by anybody to make the road slippery.
It's most peculiar, and we said how well the marshals deal with incidents quickly. Lisboa was clear until we had yet another problem. So this has not been an easy race, has it?
No.
The previous touring car race seemed relatively without incident.
Yeah, that's the replay of number 32 of Hu Jiaxin getting it wrong. If you finish this race, you're going to finish well, aren't you? So
Well, yes,
Felipe de Souza,
like
there he is, leads the way. Never has a driver been quite so happy to have been mugged off the restart of a race.
That was amazing, losing 2 places, and then thank you very much. I'll just squeeze through here. And yeah, well, that was quick thinking, though, to find the opportunity and not collect the 2 race leaders that were pointing in the wrong direction across the circuit.
The driver of 82, which is Lai Jing-wen, has got to go to the stewards after the race, but he's the driver that crashed on the formation lap, so he does have a case to answer. Right, here are the leaders then. Felipe de Sousa up front, but he's being chased by Hu Heng as they drop down towards the Macau hairpin. In third place, Chen Chi-on. And up into fourth place now will be Jason Mock in the first of the non-Audis. Felipe de Sousa still leads the way as he comes down towards Fisherman's. This will be the end of lap number 3 out of 8. Turns into the right-hander, so he's looking good for Audis in this race right now. De Sousa up front, and let's see whether or not Hu Heng can do anything about him. Jason Mock last time, in fact, there he is in the background, number 13. He did the fastest lap of the race, so now that he's starting to shake off Eureka de Jesus, what can he do about those ahead? The car that was on pole position, number 3 of Andy Yan, is still going despite the damage in 11th place.
De Sousa, if the positions stay the way they are now, he's going to be absolutely delighted with this, because off the line, I don't think he would have quite predicted that he'd be leading every lap of the race. And a big flash of the lights from Eureka de Jesus in that very distinctive pink Honda, just with the hope that maybe it will make Jason Mock make a slight error.
Is he near enough? The answer is no. Down towards Lisboa. They are both trying to catch up there onto the back of Chen Chi-on as they go out of the right-hander. And the Volkswagen right up with them as well of Chan Wen-kong. Slippery surface flag because of debris there on the road, but that should just about be less of an issue because the line takes you away from it as you climb the hill.
And I think for the first time under racing conditions, we've had no incidents down at Lisboa on this lap.
But the legacy of a Lisboa incident is on the screen. A mechanic flag, in other words, the meatball flag, the black and orange flag for Andy Yan. I'd said he was still going in 11th place, but with the rear wing hanging off, the scrutineers want that car in. So it's going from bad to worse for Andy Yan. He's wasted his pole position, and now he's going to be brought out of the race so that they can try and do something about the damage. And there is the car. You can see why they want it in, because that is not really in a fit and safe state to go racing.
Not really. It's not in a fit state to do an awful lot, is it? A very deranged car at the front, at the side, at the rear of the car as well. So the mechanical flag being displayed. And would you believe we are on the half-distance lap here. So Felipe de Sousa has got the fastest lap of the race as well at the front of the field, an advantage of 1.6 seconds over Hu Heng, and the Macau driver at 2:38.6. That's the quickest lap of the race so far.
One other impressive aspect about the Macau circuit, you see the flashing lights around the track. So that meatball flag, in quotes, being given to Andy Yan isn't just going out at the line, it's going around the circuit. So the point of getting to in all of this is that the facilities of a once-a-year circuit are actually in advance of many a permanent circuit around the world.
They're superb, and if you try to use the defence, well, I didn't see my number, I didn't see the flag, I think the answer will probably come. If you didn't see it, then you probably shouldn't be racing, because there is ample opportunity to be called into pit lane.
Right, so de Sousa up towards the end of lap number 4 out of 8. We're being warned about the debris. We've seen where that is. There in second place, Hu Heng goes through. The gap widening between the top two. Third, Chen Chi-on, and then in fourth place, Jason Mock. Now, he was the man that had the fastest lap of the race to his credit, but not anymore, because that is claimed by Felipe de Sousa, and he's getting away. And the Hondas, in fact, are starting to squabble amongst themselves. Eureka de Jesus is coming back at Jason Mock. Look, pulls out of the draft behind the pair of them. Chan Wen-kong under attack now from Leung Keng-hei, and that doesn't change, but it might do down at Lisboa. Let's see.
Yep, through Mandarin they go. This is a very quick part of the circuit. On the run down, to, not close enough this time for the run down towards Lisboa. So once again, has to slot in behind. Screen of tyres, got away with it. Goodness me.
That was the second place car, wasn't it, of Hu Heng, who survived a big scare. It's almost like nobody wants to win this race. Felipe de Sousa.
Well, no one wants to get round Lisboa.
No,
really.
sure. De Sousa, after his Pops start, is the race leader in spite of everything. Hu Heng second, and then Chen Chi-on in third place. And what's happening in Honda Land is he's still Jason Mock just ahead of Rico de Jesus, as there they are, absolutely nose to tail.
Picking up the dust there on the technical part of the circuit, leading down towards Teddy Yip and the Solitude S's, as the line of TCR Asia cars for the Wynn Macau Guia race will enjoy that race tomorrow, continue on their way It's a great little battle, this, but it doesn't appear that they can get quite close enough in the number 10 car for Eureka de Jesus.
Now, the fastest lap has been traded now to Lo Se-ho in the Hyundai that was second when it had the spin at Lisboa in avoidance of the spinning race leader, Andy Yan. He's a long, long way back, like a minute and 12 seconds away from the leaders. But fastest lap of the race has gone the way of the Hyundai now. And there is another delayed car. That is Tan-Se Sun getting out of the way of the leaders. And that's going to bring gaps down. More back markers bail out of harm's way. Leaders sweep through on the inside. So Felipe de Souza still leads down to the Melco hairpin. He's got traffic up the road, but look at the line of cars for second, third, fourth, fifth. Those Hondas now are up with Hu Heng and Chen Qiong. By two. Jason, and they dive through right now. It's going Jason Mock's way.
I once asked. It goes wrong. Oh dear, Lisboa every time, isn't it? Gets the
especially in this, he missed his break trying to turn escape road.
Yeah, it could have been a non-damage point. Buries the car in the front. That's
now you're the one flashing.
Doing that during a touring car race. I said, do you think it makes a difference? Do you think it puts someone off? He said, well, if there's even a 1% chance that it will, I'm going to do it.
It's worth a try, absolutely. Yeah. So de Souza leads on this 6th lap out of the 8. Remember, we are slightly reduced on the delayed start. You've got second and third and fourth. Now, Jason Mock for the podium could be on here. The Honda, because and without having to worry about Eureka de Jesus behind him, then he can come
down towards the Melco hairpin, number 95. The corner, and now accelerate past the hairpin. And down to complete what is going to be, it's an 8-lap race now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So completing 6 laps at the end of this one for this car, race leader, car number 26, Felipe de Souza. 2:38.6 is the personal best. 2:34.7 for Lo Se-ho.
And he's in clear air. I know he's a long way back, but he's got 20 to make it, and that's why he's able to do these laps, because he's not being delayed. Lap 7, so just under 2 laps to go with Hu Heng in 15th in the best of the Hondas, and he's edging ever closer, isn't he, towards Chen Qiong now. His last lap was 6:10. I did suggest a podium was on for Jason Mock, and he's going to have a go down to Lisboa on the outside line. Breaks late. Road, exit stage left.
Well, the only thing you can say it's tyres. It's better than hitting the barrier at Lisboa and the damage that you get on the front aisle to turn the car around, as we can see. So, engage gear again, go back a little bit more. All the time, don't you?
Yes, you do.
But at least the car is in one piece.
That's true. Can find running a mock, I think, down at Lisboa, but should be able to rejoin. Actually, second. having no longer got to worry about Jason Mock, who's put himself effectively out of the fifth place. Ho Ho is gaining places, not by overtaking.
And still going quickly as we have for the Wynn Macau Guia race, TCR Asia Challenge. And it's an advantage at the end of lap number 6 of 3.5 seconds just under for the race leader, Felipe de Souza, who turns through the Macau hairpin, down through Black Sands, and on to complete the penultimate lap of the race, which has been this one.
Yes. And for de Souza, it's been an eventful first few laps. First start, and found himself in the lead coming out of turn 3. As every
Christmas came a few weeks early.
Did it ever? Felipe de Souza is about now. The only task is to keep it off the wall. Last lap board goes out.
Confirmation. Last lap. Hold it all together for the final lap. The advantage as Hu Heng comes across the line in second, extended, so a 4-point advantage for the race leader now, because Chen Chion is right there in the car in third place, not close enough to challenge Hu Heng for second place through and towards Lisboa, and Learn Keng Hai makes another place up in car 72.
There's the battle, such as it is, for second place. Hu Heng ahead of Chen. Unsettled the car ahead. Rather than a serious bid, but it doesn't work. It's too far back. As the cars now make the run up. San Souza leading by 4.8 seconds. It's been a very good, steady drive. And Hu Heng, anything about closing that gap down, as the Gulf for the last time.
So I wonder if a couple of moments after the start of the race, whether de Souza might top of the first podium for these cars of the weekend. It to be doing advantage as well, almost 5 seconds the advantage at the end of lap number 7, the penultimate lap of the race, and such is that advantage. We're not even looking at the race leader at the moment. We're looking at the second place car in isolation as well, in number 95, Hu Heng. Just a view is Chen Chion in third place at the back of that, which means the race leader already heading down towards the Macau hairpin.
Largely yellow Audi, Felipe de Souza turn. Drivers make into the corner as they do so. More and more of the speedy drive put down that was the cause of the delay of the motorbike activities to go. Honours, it seems, in part 1 of the Wynn Macau Guia race. Challenge will go the way of Felipe de Souza. The gap's come down a bit on this last lap, but he's got it all under. Comes then the leading Audi out of the Champ Motorsport stable. Check ready. Felipe de Souza, he wins part 1 of the Wynn Macau Guia race. Hu Heng, and then falling away at the end for third place, Chen Chi. Indeed, before anybody else is going to be through for fourth place. Of Mike that had its problems yesterday. It's going to put him. The cars head over the timing. Fourth goes the way of Learn Keng Hai, and still we went out. The Golf, for example, was a lap down, but for 2.5 seconds the gap had come down to, but a first race in the Wynn Macau Guia race.
Well, that was rather and Felipe de Souza, I'm fair, mate, because
mixture of astonishment
Me, super stuff. The windscreen shield at the start of the race. Huge elation, great reception from the crowd for the winning driver, the Macau driver.
It's a home win, isn't it?
It's a home win, and you can hear it in the grandstands, can't you?
Exactly right.
Support.
Now, Lo Si Ho, despite being caught up in that first lap drive, partly through his own pace and partly by other people falling off the road, was 8th. And 4th row going into tomorrow's feature race, if you like.
Not too bad.
Right. Whereas Andy Yan was brought 2 laps down. 17th he is classified.
So an enjoyable slow down lap, a moment to savour when you are a Macau driver and you win at Macau. That for Felipe de Souza on the slow down dash of the lap. Thanking the marshals as well. A wave to the marshals.
It will be noisy one way, taking the win.
Good.
Felipe de Souza then, who knows his way around here. Perhaps he could see that all coming. I'll just see what happens.
If you have just joined us at the weekend for the Wynn Macau Guia race, TCR Asia challenging on the opening lap after a safety car start down at Lisboa, and almost to the field. De Souza found a way through, led the race and didn't look back. So after the podium, after we have confirmation of the result, Philippe Audi RS3, second place, Hu Heng, some 2.5 seconds behind, and Chen Qion lost the snap of the race in 8th place, a recovering local. Be enjoying highlights of the field, have made their way down towards Fairmont. Race 1 tomorrow. They race for the prestigious Souza. Well, winning on Saturday, pretty good. To win the Guia race would be amazing.
Well, he's going to start on pole position. He was 3rd in qualifying, and the 2 people that outpaced him are going to start behind him, 1 8th, 1 17th. So, no, I'll tell you a lie, they're not, are they? It's going to be the reversal of the top 10. And Lo Si Ho are going to be within that top 10 on the grid, because it's the reversal of the qualifying. So De Souza is going to be on the 4th row grid for tomorrow's race. You're on the reverse. So Andy Yan gets away with it rather than starting 17th. He is going to be better than that. Race, that's for sure.
Oh, the driver waving to the crowd as he comes in, punching the air as he comes into Parc Fermé.
He's done his regular, but where he's Got to do. Now and
Peters Touring Car Cup. Result at Macau until
and heads for, now they're ready for him. Gator sheet added. That in still. Felipe just.
It's a shame. We can't imagine be if you
the Audi right.
Firms continue on the. It's great to see these scenes, isn't it? And the absolute drivers. It was an event.
So a dramatic. The podium for third. D'Souza. So D'Souza on the floor is the results of race one. The grid, and then 11th and 12th, as they are 32, will form the rest of the grid. So locked there. Wave. Fourth podium of the day. 2 more races for the cars, still to catch.
Wynn Macau.
Winning of third step. It could do anything. About the first Wynn Macau. Guia race. Trophy. Communication. Wynn Macau to
number 55.
Chion, second place. Upward. Prix now limited. Trophy and the gala to hang. And then the president to present the winner. The trophy, first of all, to a very adorns the head. Of race winner. Masks you takes the mask off so you can see it. Smile and celebrate Chang Chi on for second, and will race the race huddled together at the end. Is honoured. Apples on the podium. Turnout suggests he's got a good race tomorrow. Of the afternoon, off the podium, Woods to next this